Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southeast.
Once again, we join you from beautiful San Diego, California, where tonight with a win, the Braves could claim their 5th consecutive series victory. It won't be easy. The Padres are tough here at Petco Park. We'll see what happens as the Braves and Padres face off in the rubber match of this 3-game series. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome back to the ballpark, where last night, a sad night for the Atlanta Braves. Bartolo Colon was designated for assignment shortly after the ballgame last night, ending what we had hoped would be a magical story in his one season with the Atlanta Braves.
Very disappointing, you know. It was the right decision, needless to say. He was not pitching well, but we were all disappointed that he didn't pitch like we expected him to when he was signed. After watching him pitch for the Mets the last couple of years, and he was so outstanding, it's kind of a sad, what looks like the end of a career, ending in a sad way.
So Bartolo Colon, the active winningest pitcher in the major leagues, waits to see if he'll get another chance somewhere else, and his departure, Paul Bird, means there's a chance for someone else to join this Braves pitching staff tonight.
Yeah, I was sad too, Chip, but I'm going to bring you back up right now because Rex Brothers is a fantastic story. Former Rockies closer who had a shoulder injury was out of the game for a couple years, and credit Brian Bridges, Braves scouting director, who came across a video of how well he looked, sent it to Copy, and they signed it. He's back to his old ways. As you can see, Major League career, great numbers this season, only 3 earned runs and 14 innings pitched. Here he is with his thoughts on how excited he was to have the chance to come back to the Braves.
The Braves were gracious enough to allow me that time frame and time period to get fully healthy and get myself in the situation to compete and put my best foot forward, which I'm truly grateful for. You can ask anybody who's probably gone through something similar. You feel so far away, but yet you're so close. You just kind of I put my head down and stayed the course, and you look up and you're where you want to be. So I'm happy to be here, and I want to contribute and help these guys win.
I say back to the Braves because he grew up a huge Braves fan, playing first base and loving Fred McGriff. So that's the recipe to come up and be a Major League closer. He's very excited. Chip,
well, we're excited to have him, Paul. Great to have you along as well. Jaime Garcia gets the ball in the series wrap-up. Dinelson Lamet is pitching for the Padres. He's got a big fastball. We'll see what happens in Game 3. The series finale is coming right up from Petco Park.
less.
Great promotion at Petco Park for the series wrap-up between the Braves and the Padres. They call it the dog days of summer, and the berm out beyond the right center field gates is packed with the canines today. And they are here on a beautiful night. 66 degrees, low humidity, partly sunny skies, another perfect San Diego weather day, which hopefully will turn out to be a perfect night for the Braves, Joe, who try to win their 5th consecutive series this year.
They're playing good baseball, and no reason to think that they can't do some damage tonight against this young man, although he has pitched well at times since he was called up. His last 4 starts, though, anything but good. The one thing that when you look at his numbers, even going back to last year, he started in high A, went to double A, went to triple A. 150 innings pitched, 158 strikeouts. A ton of strikeouts. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. 93 to 96 fastball, slider and changeup. Right-handers are hitting a .119 against Dinelson Lamet, 2-2 with a 6.60 ERA.
So he will face a Braves lineup that enters play tonight at 37-40. The Braves have had a good month of June, 15 wins, 11 losses, averaging over 5 runs a game this month. Ender Inciarte with 101 hits, has 38 of them this month. Phillips, Markakis, and Kemp the top 4. Adams, Suzuki, Swanson, Camargo, and Garcia the bottom of the order. Notable, Joe, that Kurt Suzuki's in there after the horrific lump on the arm of Tyler Flowers in the game last night.
Tyler's available to pinch hit. They got the swelling down. He's ready to go, but better that Kurt was doing the catching tonight. But Tyler said he could hit.
So Ender Inciarte ready to go. He's 2 for 7 in the series. And the first pitch is cracked towards center field. And that'll be a 1-pitch out as Margot gallops over and makes the play. Padres have had some defensive issues in this series. Here's how Andy Green's lineup looks out in the field. Perella, Margot, Renfroe left to right, Myers, Asuaje, Cordoba at short, Spangenberg at third, and Austin Hedges again is behind the plate.
And shortstop is a defensive issue, and Eric Ibar is not playing there. Everybody that they've used to give him a rest has struggled a little bit, including Cordoba, who's made 3 errors in 9 starts.
So a 1-pitch out gets the game started. Here's Brandon Phillips, the Braves second baseman, is 2 for 8 in the series. And Lamet missed downstairs. Lamet's a 24-year-old kid that was signed in the international signing pool period. He was originally signed by the Phillies, but that signing was disallowed because he had some documentation issues from the Dominican Republic, and then he had to wait 2 seasons before the Padres could pick him up in 2014. So again, to be signed as an international player at 24 and not 18 or 16 as we've seen, that is pretty interesting in and of itself. 1 ball, 1 strike for Brandon Phillips, who takes low. 2-1 the count. Braves fell 7-4 last night. It was 6-0 after 3. Atlanta got 4 runs in the 6th, but couldn't creep any closer. That's how San Diego evened the series. Another shot toward Margot in right center. He's drifting back and makes the play. 2 outs.
Well, talking to folks here at the ballpark about how a lot of home runs were hit here earlier, the so-called June gloom has taken its toll on long balls at Petco Park and continues to do so.
This is gloomy. My heart bleeds.
Yeah. Poor people. July's just around the corner. Hang in there.
That's right. The long-suffering citizens of San Diego. Hope is close in arriving. Here's Nick Markakis, 25 hits away from 2,000 and batting .294. He's got 3 hits in the series and takes a little low. Nick's done good work against Padre pitching, 6 for 20. He's knocked in 5 runs against San Diego, and that's slowing away. Win last night for the Padres snapped a 9-game losing streak they had head-to-head with the Braves. But this place has been a tough place for Atlanta to have success. To win this series would be a big lift for the ball club, which knows, as you mentioned, and Kelsey a moment ago as well, Washington already lost today. They blew a lead in the 9th inning, and the Cubs came back to split that 4-game series.
This ballpark has been kind to Nick. He likes hitting here. Only PNC Park in Pittsburgh does Nick have a higher career batting average, and he's hitting .355 here. 22 for 62.
Sharply hit. Córdoba handles his first chance, and a perfect flip to first. Gets Lamet out of the first. 3 up, 3 down. It's Jaime Garcia's turn next. It's Jaime Garcia's turn to pitch, and Joe, it's safe to say the Braves left-hander could use a good outing tonight.
Yeah, he's had some a rough go of it recently. His first 10 starts outstanding. His last 4, he's got a 6.20 ERA. His last 2, he's fortunate that he has 2 no decisions there, because he's given up 6 runs in each of those 2 starts, but his teammates took him off the hook. His Ford keys tonight: number 1, road walker. This guy, 48 innings pitched on the road, 24 walks. He's going to hope to cut down on that tonight. And early zeros, well, that is one area where he's been real good. His first 3 innings, he has a 2.79 ERA. Give his offense a chance to put some runs on the board against young Mr. Lamet, and then coast to a win.
And the Padres haven't had a whole lot of luck against lefty starters this year, so let's see if that works into Jaime's favor tonight, as Jose Perella hacks at the first pitch and skies it out of play to the right side. Strike 1. Back-to-back games in the leadoff spot for the San Diego left fielder, hitting .299. Garcia, 2-1 lifetime against the Padres, a 2.57 ERA. Tonight he makes his 8th career start against San Diego. And a little chopper bounces behind the plate, and it's quickly 1-2.
Irela is from Venezuela, but he reminds me a lot of Adonis Garcia. Size and the way he swings the bat.
And a swing and a miss. Suzuki will make the peg to first, and Garcia's night is underway with a swinging strikeout, something the Padres do a lot of. And there's the first out of the first inning.
Good breaking ball. That's a good sign right there. That breaking ball at times gives him some trouble, especially with 2 strikes, even more so with 2 outs. But a good one there.
So here's Manuel Margot. He's hitting .259. 15 multi-hit games for the Padres center fielder. Cracks one toward third. Camargo in on the grass. Makes a perfect throw. So far, so good for Garcia. And here's Will Myers, the anchor of Andy Green's Toyota starting lineup for San Diego. Myers with 15 homers, 40 RBIs, 3 hits in the series. But he hasn't been the best hitter against the Braves in this set. It's Mr. Asuaje, the second baseman, who's 5 for 7 and 7 for 19 in the big leagues since coming up from the minor leagues. Shift on for Myers. Brandon Phillips a step or 2 on the third base side of the second base bag. And that missed with ball 1.
I was talking to Jose Castro, Braves assistant hitting coach, about Myers today, and he just went on and on about how he hits the ball travels deep when he makes contact, and that he is so strong he's still able to drive it.
Two balls and a strike. And now 3-1. Myers will strike out. He's punched out 95 times. He's walked 31 times.
Braves have been behind in the count on him a lot. Last night, several 3-0 counts, and he took a strike.
But I can understand the care with which they're pitching him. He's their best hitter in this lineup, and that's with no disrespect to the man hitting behind him, Hunter Renfroe. But this kid's a rookie. Myers is an all-star and established hitter.
Said that when the season or the series started. Can't let Will Myers be the guy that beats you in this lineup.
So he takes a walk. Here's Renfroe, 1 for 7 in the first 2 games, and like Myers, a 15 home run man. He too will swing and miss. 83 strikeouts for Hunter. Not this time, as he grounds past Dansby Swanson into left field on the first pitch. So Renfroe finds a hole. 2 on, 2 outs. And Corey Spangenberg, the Padres third baseman's coming up.
And more 2-out trouble.
So a lefty-lefty matchup here. And lefties have given Mr. Spangenberg some problems. 22 strikeouts and 44 at-bats against southpaw pitching. See if Garcia can finish off the inning. 2-out trouble for him, a walk and a single. And now a ball in the dirt, smothered by Suzuki. Drew Jenkins tells us that Garcia in his last 4 starts has given up 6 runs with 2 outs, including a homer and 3 walks.
Yeah, and going back to the walk on Will Myers, yeah, you don't want him to beat you, meaning if you've got a way to pitch around him with runners on base or in scoring position, that you don't. 2 outs, nobody on in the first inning, that's not when you pitch around him.
Right. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right there, and Spangenberg took it. Did he go? He did not. Another pitch in the dirt.
Good stop by Kurt. Jaime Garcia and Will Myers have that in common. They like to play in the dirt.
Two on, two out, 2-2 count. And he went that time. A big sweeping slider, and Spangenberg's trouble against lefties continues. Jaime's out of the first inning, and we have no score. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live, plus get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.tv for all the details. That is a San Diego delicacy. World-famous fish tacos. Grilling up here at Petco.
Got it going on. Hot fire, too.
Chilly night.
On this cold night in San Diego.
Poor people are freezing to death. Matt Kemp leads off the Atlanta second. Kemp, Adams, and Suzuki. For the Braves, no score. We're off to Oakland after the game for our start of the series with the A's tomorrow. And I'm guessing Matt Kemp's going to get some time at the DH spot because that leg is still not 100%. Matt 1 for 8 against his former club. And a shot hit to short. Cordova makes the play. And there's out number 1.
Some hard hit balls already off Lamet. See if that continues. He has a high ERA early in the game and then tends to settle in. 6'4", 185.
Matt Adams with 13 homers stands in. His average has been in the 290s seemingly forever. And he takes a strike.
Told you this about this guy Lamet. Last year in the minor leagues, 150 innings, 158 strikeouts. This year he started in AAA, 39 innings, 50 Ks. And so far at the big league level, in 6 starts, 30 innings pitched, now 31, and 42 strikeouts.
And you're seeing the radar gun popping in the mid-90s from this young man. Ow. Right off the foot of Matt Adams, who's hobbling around and has to go to a knee.
No shin guard, at least that we can see in that Right off the shin and then the instep.
That foot
off that back foot right away.
It is still hurting. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. That was an uncomfortable at bat for Matt Adams, who gingerly makes his way back to the Braves dugout.
It's one of those walks where you're trying to tell yourself it doesn't hurt, but it's killing you.
So 5 up, 5 down for Lamet. Kurt Suzuki, the batter. And he takes up and in. Popped up. Aswahe at second backpedals and makes the one-handed grab. And the first 6 Braves have been retired in order from Dinelson Lamet of the Padres. Sunday, July 16th. That show's brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Don't forget to buy your field passes for $20 each. You can get your tickets tonight at Braves.com/need to breathe. So Matt Adams, after striking out, had to gingerly make his way back to the Braves dugout. He can't continue. Jace Peterson's going to come on and play first base. It'll be Jace's 6th game at first for Atlanta this year. That is not good news at all.
No, sir. Had a feeling, though, the way Matt was having to gingerly walk back to the dugout, that it wasn't a good thing.
So as soon as we hear more on Matt Adams' condition, we'll pass it along. But that was a vicious foul ball off his foot in the middle of the Braves' 2nd inning. So Peterson at first for Atlanta. Austin Hedges, the catcher, leading off for San Diego. And Hedges takes downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Edge is hitting .203 against lefties this year. Didn't get that even count. And one thing you know about this young San Diego team, they're aggressive, they like to swing the bats, and they don't always make contact. They strike out a lot, averaging over 9 strikeouts a game.
Yeah, their strike zone is pretty much when it comes out of the pitcher's hand.
And counting the 2 that Garcia got in the first inning, the Padres have struck out 25 times in this series. And Hedges behind here, 1-2. And he chased and missed, and Garcia's got his third.
Again, another good breaking ball. And it was a good sweeping breaking ball that got Spangenberg to end the first.
So Carlos Asuaje is the hitter. Base is empty for him. He's had a very good series, 5 for 7. And he sports a .368 average after a 3-hit, 1 RBI night last night. Asuaje, part of the big deal that the Padres pulled off with the Red Sox. Margot and Asuaje came back for Craig Kimbrell after the 2015 year. And this one's hit a mile high to right. Nick Markakis should have no trouble. And he doesn't. 2 out. That's how you want Asuaje to hit the ball in the air.
Exactly. Until he proves differently, I let him hit it as far as he wants to hit it too. Not so this guy.
No. Alan Cordoba hit a home run against the Braves April 17th. The youngest Padre to hit a home run since Robbie Alomar. With his kids making the jump from rookie ball as a Rule 5 player. Pretty amazing.
Off of Jaime. And had plenty to spare.
One of 4 Rule 5 players on this 25-man roster for San Diego. They've got to keep him on their 25-man group all year. Otherwise, they have to offer him back. And if he makes it through the season, he becomes the unencumbered property of the Padres, and they can send him back to the minor leagues for more seasoning if they feel he needs it. What a great story. From Johnson City of rookie ball in the Cardinals chain to the big leagues with the Padres, and he's holding his own.
On that fastball. Good one.
He'd love to finish off the inning with Cordoba and start the third with the Padres pitcher. Full count, 2 outs, no score. And it's a one-hopper right at Dansby Swanson. And Garcia is out of the second inning. 3 up, 3 down for him. Dansby Swanson leads off the third. No score in Game 3. Fly with us at SunTrust Park and make sure you stay after the game for the best fireworks display in the Southeast, brought to you by Gas South. Go to Braves.com/promotions and get your tickets today. The Houston Astros and Brian McCann will be the opposition for Atlanta next week.
Beautiful Torrey Pines Park. Had some great shots for you in this stay here in San Diego. Came back from the last break, had a shot of the great Coronado Hotel over on Coronado Island.
Yeah, great cameraman Sean Farnham has been busy this week in San Diego, and who can blame him? A photographer's dream in this part of the country. Some great stuff, Sean. We appreciate it. As Dansby Swanson leads off inning number 3 for Atlanta. He'll be followed by Johan Camargo and Jaime Garcia. No score after 2 in the series wrap-up. Braves have already lost Matt Adams. He fouled the ball off his foot and had to leave the game after his second inning at bat. Guy has a good fastball. He's got a good slider.
Dansby sees sliders, sees them a lot.
And he's quickly behind 0-2. And strike 3. That went over the inside corner and broke down the middle.
Yeah, that was a front door slider. I'm not sure he meant to do that. It might have even been a backup slider. Target was down and away, and that one came over the inside part. Dansby sees more sliders than anybody. Of all the pitches he sees, 25.4% are sliders. That's the most in the big leagues.
Johan Camargo, the 8th place hitter, starting for the 17th time for the Braves. And he takes a little low, 1 ball, no strikes. In his starting assignments, Camargo hitting over 300. He's knocked in 11 runs and he's scored 8. Didn't get it. Ball 1, strike 1. Freddie Freeman, by the way, took batting practice again today in San Diego. And he may be making his way to the airport. Flinch behind the plate by Jim Reynolds. That almost got through the catcher. 2-1 the count. And Freddie's going to fly home later tonight and then join Gwinnett on Friday. He's going to play Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday. That's what we were told. And after the Tuesday game, he's going to see how the wrist feels. If everything goes well, he could join the Braves in Washington. If there's any lingering soreness in the wrist, then there's a chance that Freddie will join the club after the All-Star break. Myers at first, vacuums that up. Easy play for him, 2 outs. I did talk with Freddie before the game and asked him how the wrist felt today, the day after his first live BP session, Joe, and he said everything was great. And as he reported last night, the more swings he took, the better it felt, almost as if all that tension and tightness from the cast in the waiting period dissipated and went away.
Yeah, it's not the wrist or the heel of the hand, he said, but the top and the back of his left hand was a little sore, but nothing that was out of the ordinary.
Jaime sprays 1 out of play, and he's quickly down a strike. So of course, we'll keep you updated on Freddie's progress when we join you again from Oakland. Series with the A's starts tomorrow night.
And he's got 3 hits this year, including a double. It was a good swing.
And look at where he stands. He's up at the front of the batter's box.
He wants to get that slider early.
Left field line again. We'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a lucky fan. And now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Lamet's got 3 strikeouts. He's set down 9 in a row to start his night, and he'll lead off the Padres' 3rd next. Cheap clothing.
Who's probably embarrassed having to wear it.
As we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The can't miss event of the summer hits South Beach when baseball's biggest stars take the field for the MLB All-Star Game July 11th. Only on Fox. Still have time to vote for your favorite Braves. Voting stops at 11:59 Eastern Time. These are the Braves candidates, and as Joe mentioned, don't forget Freddie Freeman, who could be active and ready to go if all goes well on his rehab this weekend.
When you're picking your players as the manager, in this case Joe Madden, I'd have an eye on Freddie Freeman. I know there are a lot of first baseman candidates, but I'd want to know how his progress is.
Garcia versus Lamet to start the home 3rd. He's 0 for 9 with 6 strikeouts as a major league hitter this year. One ball, 2 strikes. Inside out swing. He'll stay alive. Nice catch.
All right.
Fan for life right there. And the souvenir, the pitch. And a breaking ball gets the Padres pitcher. Garcia has his 4th strikeout.
Good hook tonight. So far, good downward tilt. You know, he's pitching with an extra day's rest. He hasn't pitched in a week because of the day off, and then because they used Colon and worked him into the rotation last night. So both Garcia and Fultonevich, who will pitch tomorrow night, will have a full week's rest between starts.
I'm sure that's welcome, though, this time of the year as we approach the All-Star break.
So far, so good for Jaime, and could be why he had a couple of guys on base in the first inning, just getting his bearings.
Urella, the left fielder, popped out to center his first time up. And now a comebacker up the middle and through. And that's San Diego's 2nd hit of the game.
Urella is from Venezuela. Jaime did his best to try to have a skate save there. And he made a big turn at first as if he was going to challenge Ender Inciarte. Inciarte bluffed. Urella waited to see if he was going to throw, and then there was a little exchange there about go ahead and go if you want.
So 1 on, 1 out. Here's Margot. He bounced out to third. Sharply hit ball and had to move his feet with ball 1. Jaime's moving the ball around well tonight.
He's throwing a couple of real good changeups. That was one of them. He threw one to Cordoba to get the ground ball out to end the 2nd inning.
One ball, 1 strike. Line over short. That's headed for the gap. That's real trouble. Urella around second, on his way to third. He's going to be waved. He's going to score. It's a double and a 1-0 San Diego lead.
Margot didn't do anything in the first game. He was just activated from the DL. Last night got a couple of hits, and now didn't miss that high pitch. Let her high, ripped it.
So Urella scored without a throw. Margot has his 14th RBI, and the Padres strike first. It's 1-0, and Will Myers the batter. He walked with 2 outs in the first inning. Like to pitch him carefully here in a run-scoring spot. And Garcia delivers low, ball 1. High fly ball belted deep left. That's a no-doubter. Into the Western Metal Supply Building. It's a 3-0 San Diego lead. The man you don't want to beat you just jumped all over that pitch and hit a long 2-run homer.
Boy, when he plants that front foot and hits against it, his weight stays back, and that generates a lot of bat speed. As I said before, he lets the ball travel really deep because he's got such quick hands and a great bat.
So the Braves have to come back from a 3-run hole now. As Renfroe bats, he's got a single, a double, and a homer after the pitcher's strikeout in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And this is more like how the Padres play offensively. Last night they scored 7 runs and didn't hit a home run. The most runs they've scored in a game this year without a long ball. And as you mentioned, last night, the night before, almost half of their runs are the direct result of a home run.
Yeah, more than anybody else in the National League.
That one's well struck, right center. Ender on the run, still going to the track, and he makes the grab. Anyplace else, that might have been long gone. But the park just big enough to hold that drive by Hunter Renfroe for the 2nd out.
Ender getting a lot of help there from Nick Markakis, letting him know that he had room before he was going to bump into the wall. That helped. Nick hustling over there to help him out. Home runs have been an issue for Jaime in his recent starts. Those last 2 where he's given up a ton of runs. 10 innings, he gave up 3 homers, and 1 more tonight.
Ground ball, Jace can't get that. Spangenberg jumps on the first pitch, and he's aboard with a 2-out hit. Just got word from Brad Hange. Matt Adams left tonight's game because of a left foot contusion. They took x-rays. Those were negative. His status day to day.
That's good.
So 3 runs, 4 hits for the Padres in the 3rd. 2nd time through the order. Not a whole lot of fun for Jaime Garcia. And here's Hedges, who struck out to start the 2nd. Runner goes, got a great jump. Suzuki has no chance. As Spangenberg steals his 5th base.
Went on his first move, guessed right. No chance for Kurt.
One ball, no strikes. Now an even count. Curve was a beauty. Now Jaime a strike away from sending this game to the 4th. Jaime had a little trouble in the 1st inning, retired the side in order in the 2nd, started the 3rd with a strikeout. Torella, Margot, and Myers all reached. Renfroe flied to deep right center. Spangenberg singled and stole 2nd with 2 outs, and now a 2-2 pitch coming to the catcher. And it stayed high.
Little flinch from Jim Reynolds there.
Now the payoff pitch is hit a mile high toward left. Kemp retreats. but the Park's going to hold this one, and that retires the side. 3 runs on 4 hits. The Myers 2-run homer, the biggest blow. We go to the 4th. Braves looking for their first hit and first run next. Tonight, Zaxby's indescribably good player. He's riding a double-digit hitting streak.
Just keeps on keeping on. You know, 200 hits since the All-Star break last year, 100 already this year before the break, with several games to go.
Well, with 38 hits this month, as I told you, 40 hits last month. Ender's trying to do something that has not happened very often in Atlanta Braves history. Only 4 players since 1966 have had consecutive 40-hit months. Felipe Alou, Ralph Garr, the Sarge, Gary Matthews, and Martin Prado had back-to-back months of 40 or more hits. But hitting this guy's been tough. Lamet has set down the first 9 in order, and he leads by 3. Popped up near the Braves dugout, and a try by Spangenberg is just out of reach. 0-2.
Yeah, Lamet got through his 1 inning that gives him the most trouble, and that's the first. So the first through the third. An 8 ERA thereafter. As I said, he settles in. Doesn't seem to have too many issues, especially with a 3-0 lead to work with. Excellent slider.
And he must feel like the king of the world right now, because this is a man that, if I'm reading their notes correctly, in his first 6 starts, the Padres have scored a grand total of 10 runs for him. He's got 3 to play with tonight.
Well, you just saw that one really break down. It's hard. It's an 87-mile-an-hour slider. And he's definitely pitching downhill. He's 6'4", and he's using his leverage real well.
Pulled foul. We'll do it again. 2-2. 2 starts ago, he was brilliant. 12 strikeouts, no walks against the Brewers over 6 innings. Ground ball to second. Asuaje's got it, and the throw to first in plenty of time. Asuaje, makes the play. There's the first out.
Hey, Paul Bird, I know you've got a bit of a side angle watching this guy tonight. What have been your thoughts on his angle?
Well, I think he's down. You know, he's got an 87-mile-an-hour slider, which we saw to Swanson. That's a power slider. And so when you have that power slider that has downward tilt with that kind of leverage, it's tough to hit. So I think he has been outstanding tonight, and he's made his pitches. He's in no way reflective of his numbers.
Yeah, it looks like as long as he keeps the ball down, he'll certainly have an advantage. Been some hard hit balls, but they have been pitches for the most part that have been above the belt.
Rifle out of play, and another great catch off to our right.
Nice grab.
A lot of late swings from the Braves early on. Not surprising with a man who has a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. In fact, Lamet, you may not know, leads all major league starters in strikeouts per 9 innings with a minimum of 6 games pitched. Did he get Phillips to chase? He did that time. And Phillips is rung up. 11 up, 11 down. That's the 4th strikeout for Lamet.
Here's the slider. That one was a little flatter. Sean Barber rang him up.
Two quick outs for Markakis, who rolled out to shortstop. And he's going to bang one past Myers into right field. That breaks up the no-hit bid. And Markakis with his 4th hit in this series, now 24 away from 2,000, and he's our Georgia lottery feature.
Those are his numbers his last 23 games with a .318 average. On the road this year for the season, he's hitting .346 coming in with a .447 on base percentage.
Well, one swing makes it a game again. It's 3-0 San Diego. Matt Kemp's the batter. He too rolled out to shortstop and takes ball 1. RBIs have been a little tough to come by for Matt. He's knocked in 7 men in the last 22 games he's played. He entered play tonight, though, still 10th in the National League at hitting at .314. Mention all the sliders that Dansby Swanson sees. Matt Kemp's seen the 4th highest percentage of sliders in his big league at bats. He's at 24%.
I think in part that's why when he came back or came over to the Braves, he went to Kevin Seitzer and said, I want to get my right center field swing back. I've got to be able to hit the ball that way, and I've lost it. Kevin and his assistant right there, Jose Castro, worked hard to do just that, and it's really helped Matt.
Well, he's got the whole right side of the infield if he wants to use it here.
Yeah.
With Myers holding Markakis and a 3-man shift on. And he fouled that one back.
I don't think Matt's legs are under him. I think that hamstring is still an issue. I don't think he would ever admit it. Doesn't want anybody to know. And I'm certainly not going to use it ever as an excuse, but I don't think he's got full use of his legs under him.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Didn't get the 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Lamet's retired 12 of 13 Braves. He's given up a hit, but not the lead. After 3.5, the Padres lead the Braves 3-0 at home.
You saw Jaime Garcia run into a little bit of trouble last inning. The ball was up. One of the keys for him is mixing his pitches and staying down in the zone. When he does that, he has late movement. How did Suzuki respond? He started to drop the glove just below the strike zone a little bit, below the knees, to try and remind him to keep that ball down. Guys, back to you.
Well, let's see if he can make that adjustment this inning, Paul. As we've been saying, he's got a good breaking ball tonight, but only 7 out of 16 first pitch strikes now.
Carlos Asuaje, the batter, he popped up his first time up, and that missed the outside edge. Ball 2.
I saw him do that last night. He had that big one-handed follow through and was shaking his hand and wrist a couple of times.
To the right side, Phillips gives ground, and from the cut of the outfield grass throws on to first. 1 away.
An interesting dynamic on their coaching staff. Mark McGwire, everybody knows about his home run prowess and what he did in the big leagues. He's the bench coach for the Padres, not the hitting coach. The hitting coach is Alan Zinter. And Alan Zinter is quite a story in himself. A guy who got very little playing time in the big leagues. Only 67 games.
Broken bat. Cordova is the second out.
But Alan Zinter in the minor leagues hit 250 home runs, 280 doubles. He hit 258 for his career, struck out a ton, 1,500 times in 5,500 minor league at-bats.
Well, he fits right in with the rest of this Padres team, doesn't he?
What a tough go for a guy who's hitting the ball out of the ballpark day after day and only got 78 at-bats in the big leagues. 3 homers.
Who did he play with in the big leagues?
Houston and Arizona. Arizona near the end of his career. Also spent some time in Japan, and his last year was in an independent league.
Well, good for him, though.
The guy could hit. He knows hitting.
Right.
He's their hitting coach, and they got Mark McGwire as the bench coach. I think they could put their combined home runs against anybody on the staff.
I think they'd pretty much have the major league lead, wouldn't you say? We're through 4. It's San Diego by 3. It's time for some Braves offense. They have 1 hit in their first 4 innings against Dinelson Lamet, who has struck out 5 men so far, and he's done that on 48 pitches. He'll face Jace Peterson, who gets his first swings. Kurt Suzuki and then Dansby Swanson. Remember, Jace Peterson checked in after Matt Adams fouled a ball off his foot in the 2nd inning. X-rays were taken. Those X-rays were negative. It's a foot contusion for Adams, so Peterson will play the rest of the way at first tonight. And at the knees, a called strike at 95 miles an hour.
3-run lead. He can pound the zone early with fastballs and then go to the slider.
Little chopper back to the mound. Lamet got a friendly hop and threw another fastball, this time to first. And Jace Peterson's retired to start the Atlanta 5th. Kurt Suzuki popped out to second. That ended the Braves' 2nd inning. Might have been his fastest fastball in the game. That one clocked at 97 miles an hour, but it missed. As did the slider. 2 balls, no strikes.
Last start against Detroit, no decision. Only gave up 3 hits in 6 innings. 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts.
Popped back our way. What a catch by a fan down below. He picked off that baseball before it bounced up and hit a young lady sitting right in the front row in front of the press box. Great effort. 2 balls and a strike. And back to the screen.
Good cut by Kurt. Wants that one back. He's had a tough month of June, Suzuki. His playing time cut back because of the success of Tyler Flowers.
This is Kurt's 40th at bat this month. He's got 6 hits. But fighting hard here to keep alive a 5th inning at bat. Three in the third is all Lamet has needed so far. Will Myers with a long homer. And now the pitch. He is way outside, full count.
Boy, somehow saved that one. Again, slider with a real hard downward tilt.
Eighth pitch of the at bat coming up for Kurt Suzuki. This is driving up the pitch count. That's a good idea.
Well, he's another one of the, I mean, he's 24, but he started in high A ball last year. You talked about his issues with signing late. He went 7-1 in high A and then got promoted and went 12-10 overall between high A, double A, and triple A. 12-10 with a 336.
And for where the Padres are as an organization, why not get him up here and see what he can do? And so far, he's held his own. Opponents hitting just .220 against him. He's got a high ERA.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why.
But they don't score for him. Otherwise, he might have a much better personal one-loss record. Grounded foul.
Well, he had 2 starts back-to-back against Arizona and Kansas City. 3 innings against Arizona, only 5 hits, but 5 walks, and gave up 7 earned runs. And then his next start against Kansas City at home, 5 innings, 7 runs allowed, and 3 homers. Take out those 2 starts, and he's got some very good numbers. 3.27 ERA.
Big league at bat right there from Kurt Suzuki. He just outlasted Lamet. And Kurt's aboard with a 1-out free pass. First one of those from the Padres right-hander. And that brings up Dansby Swanson. Dansby was frozen on a front door slider. Back in the Atlanta third. Dansby hitting over 300 this month, tied for first among National League rookies in hits. Let's see if he can reach safely here and keep the inning going.
.86-mile-an-hour slider. .89. You know, that's the speed guys are throwing cutters off their fastball.
Lamet's got 5 strikeouts. He's ahead of Swanson. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dansby fought that one off. Suzuki a short lead. The pitch. Strike 3. A fastball got him at 95 miles an hour. At the knees, outer half. Dansby's down on strikes for the 2nd time.
I mean, it just, that's a perfect pitch, perfect pitcher's pitch with some backup on it at the knees. They've kind of got Dansby's number. He's now 2 for 25 against him on the year.
So Johan Camargo, the final hope in the inning. He bounced out to first his first time up. And he takes another strike. This kid's been impressive.
That appeared to be a changeup at 91.
I'll bet that made that 96 look like it was 106. Off the pitcher, it ricochets towards short, and everybody's safe. So some good fortune for Johan Camargo. He's got an infield hit, the 2nd hit of the game for Atlanta, and Jaime Garcia's coming up.
Chance for Jaime to help himself. He had some good cuts before striking out his last time up.
Lamet retired the first 11 Braves in order. For Nick Markakis spoiled the no-hit bid with a 2-out single in the 4th. A walk and a hit here has the Braves rallying with 2 outs. Little chopper. Myers has it. He'll go to the bag himself, and that retires the Braves in the 5th. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. Still 3-0 Padres.
your local Ford dealer. And the Georgia Lottery.
That's the world-famous Coronado Bridge going across the beautiful Coronado Island right across from downtown San Diego. What a gorgeous place. Great work again by Sean Farnham, our videographer, with us here on the West Coast. And speaking of the West Coast, it's not been a kind place for the Braves. We'll explain on our Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. How do you figure the Braves have struggled so mightily against the National League West on the road?
I don't know, but those are cold and hard. 6-24, including the win here a couple of nights ago. Very high ERA, 6.06 out west.
Well, a lot of it has to factor in, I guess. Braves are playing some good teams. Padres are rebuilding, obviously, but you look at what the Dodgers have done. Coors Field's always been a tough place for the Braves to play. Historically, the Giants have been a real good team, and even Arizona is a tough club, especially this year in their home park. So Braves' Western fortunes certainly haven't been good, and they'll have to work hard to improve them tonight. Trailing by 3 after 4.5. Top of the order up. This is the group that gave Garcia trouble last time. And it starts with Jose Perella, who takes a ball in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. Overthrew that pitch and missed badly. 2 balls, no strikes. Mets won tonight. They beat the Marlins 6-3. Cardinals beat Arizona 10-4. A rare home loss for the Diamondbacks. Told you Washington fell to the Cubs. A 9th inning meltdown by the Nationals bullpen. And while that has been the headline for Dusty Baker's club all year, it won't be the headline tomorrow.
No.
Trey Turner hit on the wrist, broken wrist. He's out for several weeks. Swing and a miss. Perella didn't get it. 2-2.
With that win, the Mets climb over the Marlins into 3rd place.
Foul back again. We'll do it again.
With the success that Bartolo Colon had in New York, and with all the injuries that have been incurred by the Mets, it would be interesting to see if they have any interest in bringing him back and trying to get him going.
At this point, what do the Mets have to lose? Probably very little, if anything. Big ballpark, comfortable surroundings. Makes sense. Line drive to left. Kemp retreats and reaches up and makes the play. Perella hit it on the button, but he's retired for the first out. Dodgers and Angels are battling in the Freeway Series. That one's scoreless in the 2nd. Kershaw and J.C. Ramirez the pitchers. Do you know that the Angels right now are a game out of the wild card in the American League? And they've done that without Mike Trout.
That's pretty good work.
Downstairs for Manuel Margot. Speaking of the wild card, the Braves are 8 out in the wild card at the start of action tonight.
A long way to go. Schedule-wise.
Bouncing ball, foul. Yeah, we're going to find out with Colorado and the Diamondbacks right now the top wild card clubs. We're going to find out very early after the All-Star break where the Braves stand. We've got the Diamondbacks 2 series in the first 2 weeks after the break, and then first 2 weeks of August home and home series with the Rockies. The Dodgers and Cubs mixed in for a good measure too. Good curveball has Margot behind the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Little pop into shallow center. Margot dumps a single. His second hit of the game, and the Braves have to face Myers with a man aboard again.
Margot's got a magic wand working now all of a sudden.
And so does Will Myers, who did this last time up.
See how he stays on that back foot. His back foot doesn't even pivot. It stays kind of locked. Once he plants that front foot, he's hitting against a firm front side, and man, does it create a lot of bat speed.
Keep an eye on Margot. He's stolen 7 bases. This is an important inning for Garcia. If he can get through this, the top of his order's coming up in the 6th. It's a 3-0 game, still a manageable game. Atlanta needs more than just 2 hits. Runner goes, pitch a ball. The throw to second is a strike. Pod safe.
Really good throw by Suzuki to make that close, because again, they guessed right. They're picking up something on Jaime's move. Tag was on the shoulder. That gives him the length of his arm to get into the bag safely. It's pretty darn close.
Looks like the Braves are going to challenge it right there. So the initial call was safe. Is there enough evidence to overturn the call at second base? We're about to find out.
Might have gotten him. You know what? That tag on the arm before the hand got in there. This could be a very good review.
So if Margot will be called safe, or if he remains safe, he'll be second behind Andrew Benintendi for most stolen bases among major league rookies. It would be his 8th. Another angle, another look.
Got him.
So the call is overturned. Excellent challenge by the Braves and an excellent throw by Kurt Suzuki. Margot is thrown out trying to steal. That's the second out of the inning.
Took a perfect throw.
So 2-4 is the verdict on the caught stealing. And here's Myers with a 2-0 count. Now it's 3 balls, no strikes. Dangerous pitch. He took it 3-1. And Myers walks for the second time, this one with 2 outs. just like the first inning. Second walk for Mr. Garcia. Here's Renfroe, who singled in the first and just missed, hitting a long home run his last time up. Chased Ender Inciarte to the San Diego Beach area in right center field. Kind of missed the old sandbox that they had out there in right center.
Yeah, that was nice. Got a little patio area out there now.
Remember, on Chipper's retirement tour, this was one of the great stops, and one of the great gifts he received was something you just saw in that shot of San Diego Beach. Trevor Hoffman presented Chipper with a big surfboard. Fly ball, stroke towards center. Ender's going to turn and admire that one. That one is over the bushes and in the batter's eye. A mammoth home run for Hunter Renfroe.
First pitch of the sequence was up, but it was out away from him, so he didn't offer. Jaime couldn't get it down. And I mean, this ball was crushed. He averages real close to 400 feet on his home runs. This didn't hurt his average any. Just under the cameras.
I don't think I've ever seen a hitter hit a ball there in this ballpark. So the Padres have a 5-0 lead. Phillips to the backhand. Fires to first in time. That takes care of Spangenberg, and the 2-out walk really hurt.
You might say he hit it between the hedges.
Yes, he did. So the Braves have to hunker down in the 6th. They're down 5 in game 3. Renfroe, two guys, Joe, they hope that'll be powerful members of the middle of their order for years to come. They've shown off some tape measure power in this game tonight.
We talked last night about how this guy has a tendency to chase pitches up out of the zone. He has a hard time laying off of them. But when you get a changeup that hangs up about belt high or a little higher, time to tee off, and he did.
So again, Lamet with 10 total runs of support coming into tonight's game, has 5 runs to play with after 5 innings. At the top of the Braves order coming up, Inciarte, Phillips, and Markakis. That trio so far 1 for 6 at the plate. Ball 1. 5 runs, 7 hits for the Padres. No runs, 2 hits for the Braves. Atlanta stranded 3. San Diego has stranded 3. There's a shot deep to right field. That ball is going to bounce off the base of the wall. Ender Inciarte on his way to second. And there's a start for the Braves. Ender, with an 11-game hitting streak now, picks up his 13th double.
Good start to the inning. Change up. It was left upstairs, and fortunate for Lamet that it stayed in the ballpark.
Now Brian Snitker is out talking with Jim Reynolds. Mike Winters is joining the conversation as well. Could this be something to do with the uniform of Lamet?
Maybe something in his glove or on his hat that they want to check.
They're checking the uniform. The Braves are checking the back right leg of Lamet's uniform.
Well, he rubs his hand in the dirt a lot too.
Right.
There's to his hand and to his pants, but he rubs his hand in the dirt and rubs his pants a lot too, and maybe they're satisfied that it was just dirt and not pine tar or something else that was tacky.
Hey guys, yes, they were questioning what that was. It did look a little suspicious. He kept going to it a lot. Looked like pine tar. Umpire came over and said he's good. It's just dirt.
So let's see if that has an effect on Lamet, who had a wry smile after the umpires checked him out. Runner at second, nobody out for Phillips.
We'll see if that upsets the apple cart for Mr. Lamet.
Phillips is fly to center, and he's struck out on a check swing. Another pitch up and an even count.
Last night the Braves only got 7 hits, but 4 of them came in 1 inning, the 6th inning, and that's when they scored all 4 of their runs. So maybe this is the start of something tonight where they put some back to back.
Chopper hit to the left side. Spangenberg's got it. Fires to first. Good play. No advance of the runner. Phillips is 0 for 3, 1 out. It's really rare, I think, in today's game to see a major league manager go out and ask the umpires to check a major league pitcher with the use of the rosin, and you see all the debris on a pitcher's cap, on the bill of his cap, the top of his cap. Unless it's blatantly obvious, you almost never see An opposing team check an opposing pitcher for an illegal substance. One of those obvious cases happened at Turner Field a couple of years ago when Will Smith came into the game for the Brewers, and he had a big dab of pine tar on one of his forearms. And that's the suspicious spot that the Braves saw on Lamet's uniform pants.
If this guy wasn't just firing 89-mile-an-hour sliders that had great bite on them, I don't think you would have heard anything out of the Braves dugout on this occasion. But when that shows up and this guy's throwing like pitching like he's pitching, he's not throwing, and you see that dirt or debris on the back of his pants, then you get a little suspicious that maybe he's got some help,
and
because it's nasty slider.
And there's only one way to find out,
yeah,
and that's to ask. Hasn't affected him yet. 1 on, 1 out from Markakis, who had the first Braves hit. And that's chopped out of play. Paul?
I agree 100% with you guys. Joe, you're absolutely right. As a former pitcher, the harder you throw the ball, the tougher it is to get really good break on it. So when you see a guy throwing in the upper 80s and he's throwing a slider, usually it's short and it's flat to the side. He's throwing in the upper 80s, even topping out at 90 tonight, and has sharp downward break. So very suspicious, but you got to tip your cap. He's clean. Great catch, guys.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Markakis. 5-0 San Diego. Myers and Renfroe have hit homers.
Another defensive setup for one of the Braves' left-handed hitters and giving them right center field, with Margot playing way over in left center.
Slapped toward left and right at Perella. Nick reached for that pitch and hit it right where the Padres left fielder was standing.
In some ways, what they're saying is, let's pitch these left-handers away and play them away, because we don't think they can hit the ball out of the ballpark to the opposite field, and take away some of their strengths. And remember, Nick had a ground rule double in the first inning last night, right down the line that Pirella couldn't get to.
So with 2 outs, Matt Kemp is the batter. Matt has grounded out and struck out. 1 for 10 in the series. And Hedges smothered that. 1 ball, no strikes. Popped up back toward us and out of play. It's now 1-2. Excuse me, 1-1 for Matt Kemp with 2 out. The 5th inning was the most stressful for Lamet. He had 2 men on, but the bottom of the order coming up. He escaped that without allowing a run. And there's that disappearing slider.
I mean to tell you, he's locating it so well. That one didn't even have quite the dive that he had earlier.
So familiar spot for the Padres right-hander. He's about to make his 86th pitch. And it's strike 3 called. A perfect pitch on the outer corner. Lamet is dealing. That's his 7th strikeout. He's through 6 innings with a shutout and a 5-0 lead in the rubber game of the series. Hedges, Asuaje, and Cordoba coming up against Jaime Garcia. Dinelson Lamet is the story tonight. 7 strikeouts in 6 innings. He scattered 3 Braves hits. And 2 long homers from the 3 and 4 hitters for the Padres has been more than enough for him tonight. Hedges struck out in the 2nd. He flied out in the 3rd. Boy, he takes a big cut, doesn't he?
Big uppercut.
One and 2. Hedges lives in Tustin, California. He signed a letter of intent to play college ball at UCLA, but signed with the Padres, who took him in the 2nd round back in 2011. Two and 2. Hedges turns 25 in August. And he'll turn right and head back to the Padres dugout as he strikes out for the 2nd time, 1 away in the 6th. Garcia with 6 strikeouts in the game. And here's Asuaje. He's 0 for 2.
When he keeps the ball down, he has, as Paul described, good late movement. Ball darts in and out. We've heard from the catchers how tough he is to catch when his pitches are down. But when he elevates, it flattens out, it's straight. And especially on that changeup to Renfroe, very hittable.
Asuaje pops another one up. Dansby drifts out into shallow left and puts the squeeze on that. And 2 men are down. And here's Cordoba. Padres AAA affiliate is the El Paso Chihuahuas. They won the PCL championship last year. Their key contributors were Manuel Margot, Austin Hedges, Hunter Renfroe, Carlos Asuaje. They had 20 RBIs and scored 25 runs in their 8 postseason games to capture the PCL title. So this group has really grown up together in the Padres system, and now here they are competing and trying to learn at the major league level together. Cordova drives that one toward left. And in left center, it'll be Ender Inciarte to make the play.
And when you have a very young team, to be able to promote all those guys together in a winning attitude, that's a real solid bonus for the Padres.
They'll lead 5-0 after 6 at home tonight. Has not been a whole lot of fun. They have just 3 hits.
Since 1913, only 3 pitchers have struck out 12 batters on 86 or fewer pitches. Lamet did it June 17th. Greg Maddux did it in September of 2000, and Matt Parishok did it in October of '99. Lamet's got 7 strikeouts tonight, but since 1913 to only have 3 guys do that, and you're 24 years old and only have 6 starts in the big leagues, that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. As he faces Jace Peterson for the 2nd time tonight. Just joining us, Jace came in after the 2nd inning. Matt Adams fouled the ball off his foot and had to leave the game. It's a foot contusion for Adams. He's day to day. Ground ball foul at first. So it won't be 12 strikeouts on 86 pitches again for Lamet tonight. He's just about set to throw number 90 to Jace Peterson. And it was tipped and caught. 8 strikeouts.
He ran a ball in on him that Jace fouled off down the first baseline, fought off. So now he's got him set up inside, 95 away. Jace's weight is on his heels, and he has to try to reach for that. Can't catch up because he had established that pitch inside.
One out for Kurt Suzuki. He's popped up and walked.
His 50th strikeout in 36 1/3 innings.
Sharply hit and through. A 1-out single for Suzuki. And Dansby Swanson's coming up, who's been struck out twice tonight.
One of the few sliders he left up. I have to assume in those 2 outings where he got hit real hard, he had a hard time getting his slider down.
Strike after strike for Dansby Swanson. As Joe said, is 2 for 25 at the plate against the Padres this year.
.94 is the most pitches he's thrown in a game, and there's number 94. That was in his second start against the Cubs. And he did that in only 5 innings.
We told you Braves were catching him while he's on a hot streak. 5 earned runs in 12 innings in his last 2 outings. Opponents hitting a .159 against him. 17 strikeouts, 1 walk. All of those numbers fit in with the performance that Lamet has turned in tonight. To Myers. He'll flip to second one. The throw to first is late. Bad throw from Myers. Ruined any chance for the Padres to get 2. They do force Suzuki. Swanson at first with 2 outs.
Good thing Cordoba's a big guy too. Otherwise he wouldn't have been able to reach this wide open throwing lane. Nice play by Cordoba to get the out.
Action has begun in the Padres bullpen. Same for the Braves. Rex Brothers just called up after Bartolo Colon was designated for assignment last night. He's beginning to warm up for Atlanta. Sharply hit right at the bag. Myers has it. And Lamet is through 7 with a shutout. What a performance from the young San Diego right-hander. He's 4-hitting the Braves in Game 3. Mobile. Let's check out the happenings at Gwinnett and Mississippi. Some midseason honors were handed out the other day.
And if you're like me, I mean, I've been following Mike Soroka like everybody else all season long with all of his success. And I don't know why I didn't know this. I was wondering how he got selected to the World Squad for that ball game in the Futures game. But he's from Canada. He's from Calgary. And he and Ronald Acuna will represent the Braves for that ball club.
So congratulations to those 4 men. As Jaime Garcia goes to work in the 7th, Matt Caesar pinch hitting for Dinelson Lamet, who went 7 innings of 4-hit shutout ball tonight, 8 strikeouts, and only 1 walk. In a word, he was brilliant for the Padres.
It's about as impressive a performance by young pitchers we've seen all year.
In for a strike. Caesar took it all the way. And he will take ball 4, a leadoff walk in the Padres 7th. Now we go back to the top of the order. Nice to see Matt Caesar land on his feet. If you can't play every day at Wrigley Field, San Diego's not a bad fallback position.
No, it's not.
And
for anybody.
Like that's going to be the last pitch of the game for Jaime Garcia as Lamet looks on. Brian Snitker's on his way to the mound. Garcia will be taken down after 6+ innings, 6 strikeouts, 2 homers sealed his fate as Atlanta trails 5-0 here at Petco.
On the mound right now, Rex Brothers, left-hander out of Lipscomb University, Rockies closer. But before that, he trained in the offseason with R.A. Dickey up in Tennessee, Lipscomb University. Saw some video, watched him pitch, and R.A. said, you know, this guy's pretty good. Well, he was a weekend starter on Friday night and threw gas, and he said, I see your future on the mound in the big leagues as a reliever. Someday, I think you can make it to the big leagues and be a closer. Put R.A. on the scouting payroll. He was right. Great, great stuff. Grew up a Braves fan, and his favorite player, Crime Dog. Guys, back to you.
Well, it's always nice when you get these great Braves fans wearing a Braves uniform. You know how proud they are to do it, and he ought to be proud for what he's tried to do or had to do to get back to the big leagues. He's had some shoulder issues that knocked him out of the big leagues and put up some real good numbers here after being cleared to pitch.
286 big league games over 5 years with the Rockies. And as you saw in that graphic, his first major league action in almost 2 years. He's back in the show pitching for the Braves in the San Diego 7th. And Jose Pirela, the batter, he's 1 for 3 tonight and scored a run. First pitch is cut on late, foul ball.
He worked a lot for Colorado. Naturally, they go to their bullpen a lot, but I think it was 3 straight years where he had 70 or more outings, and I think it finally took its toll on him. But just 29.
Nothing wrong with 94 on the outside corner. 0-2.
Yeah, and he's come back throwing strikes. His command's been very good. You know his heart is beating and thumping through that jersey right now.
Braves signed him as a minor league free agent on February 3rd. And I think the story that is worth repeating with regards to Rex Brothers, just about anybody right now in the Braves system, you pitch well for a 14-15 game stretch, you're going to get consideration for a promotion. And that's not met with any disrespect to the Atlanta Relief Corps, which has by and large pitched very well this month. Chopper hit toward Dansby, short hop, good play and a perfect throw. The only play he had was to first. Caesar advances on the ground out. One man down.
We've talked about this play a lot, where the shortstop has no choice but to try to come in and smother the hop the best he can. That wasn't even a short hop. That was one of those big in-betweeners, and Dansby made it.
So my point about the bullpen, those are all interchangeable parts. And as many appearances those guys make, they need a break too. Pitch well for an extended period, you might get a look. And Brothers has and is tonight. Here's Margot, 2 for 3, a run scored and an RBI back in the 3rd inning. 1 ball, no strikes. Line drive. Kemp's coming on, can't get it. Streaking around third is Caesar, and he will score standing up. Margot has a 2 RBI game. And that run is added to the tally of Jaime Garcia, who surrenders 6 runs tonight.
Like I said about Margot, he's come back with a magic wand, but he also got a high pitch there to pick on and just hit it in the right spot out of the reach of everybody. The leadoff walk comes back.
Here's Myers. The Braves have walked him twice. He's scored twice. He's hit a homer and he's driven home 2. Something else that's pretty impressive about the Braves bullpen is how it's evolved over the course of the year. Sam Freeman has pitched very well. Came up May 4th. Luke Jackson came up mid-season. Jason Mott was an incredible find for the Braves, and he's done excellent work in big situations. Now you've got Rex Brothers with big league experience getting a chance now. This one's lifted toward right field pretty deep near the Petco porch, but the park's going to hold it. Markakis with the catch on the warning track. And Myers drives it deep to right, but he's retired for the 2nd out.
Choices have been very good in the bullpen in recent days. You know, there's good arms down there. There's guys who are effective getting ground balls. Starting pitching, however, different story. That's the 3rd straight game for Jaime Garcia to give up 6 runs exactly. That's got to get better if the Braves have any hopes of moving up the ladder in the wild card hunt. And while that's fun to talk about, and we haven't been able to do that in a while.
Sure.
That's what's got to happen.
And sneaks through the whole left side. But Renfroe has a 3-hit night.
That was a good pitch. Found a hole.
So Spangenberg with another left-handed opponent. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Again for Garcia, long ball got him, bases on balls got him. Renfroe's homer came in the 5th inning after a 2-out walk, and he drove one over the bushes in center field over the batter's eye.
At that point, that was 5 home runs allowed in the last 11 innings pitched by Jaime Garcia.
So you're right, that's got to turn around quickly. 2 on, 2 out. Big sweeping slider. Spangenberg didn't get it. Margot a 3-hit game. Renfroe with a 3-hit game. 2 long homers for the Padres. Again, we told you almost half their runs come as a direct result of a long ball. Somewhat surprising considering the size of this park and the way this park plays. But they're coming off a year last year when they had a club record for home runs in a season. And they've clubbed 2 long ones tonight. Pitch. He went around. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Ends the inning. A run, 2 hits. The walk charge to Jaime Garcia ends his night. 6-0 San Diego after 7. Time for Kelsey in Atlanta with tonight's big story. On a fractured wrist on a pitched ball, and it's not just Trey Turner they're going to miss, it's Adam Eaton they're going to miss. And we'll talk about the Nationals' troubles on Braves Live presented by Xfinity, and we're talking about the Nationals because they're coming up the last 4 games before the All-Star break. Atlanta will play Dusty Baker's bunch up in Washington. Still some unfinished business in San Diego tonight. We're through 7. It's 6-0 San Diego, and Kirby Yates is on to pitch in relief of Dinelson Lamet, who went 7 shutout innings tonight.
We talked about their bullpen at the beginning of this series and how good it was. Yates started the year with the Angels, now with the Padres. Good strikeout to walk ratio, good ERA. Mid-90s fastball, slider. He's provided them a very good setup man for Mauer.
Matt Caesar stays in the game. He's in left field for the Padres. Perella is out of the game. So Yates works the 8th. And he faces Danny Santana, who's pinch hitting for Rex Brothers. Right off his knuckles and back to the screen. Braves head to Oakland after the game tonight. Open up a weekend series with the Athletics. The Padres have 3 games with the hated Dodgers here, starting on Friday night. Then they wrap up the first half of the season on the road. 3 in Cleveland, 3 in Philly. And that's way outside of Santana. Yates missed badly. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
They're 1-5 against the Dodgers. 0-2 at home. Now that's always nice. Finish up on the East Coast before the All-Star break.
Yes, stay hot, right? The 2-2 is grounded toward Myers at first. Easy play. He's got it. And there's the first out of the Atlanta 8th. Won't be easy for San Diego tomorrow. They've got to face former Brave Alex Wood, who's off to an 8-0, 186 start. In rotation for Los Angeles, Rich Hill and Kenta Maeda, the other 2 sent to pitch for Los Angeles. Ender Inciarte picked up his 39th hit this month with a 6th inning double. Again, we told you just 4 men have had back-to-back 40 hit months in Atlanta Braves history. Be nice to see Ender get that out of the way tonight with the final day of June tomorrow night. Popped up. Hedges near the screen, hopes for it to back up. It did, but not far enough. One ball, 1 strike. Fought off a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, he's throwing hard. Nice to be able to add an arm like that to your bullpen. Since joining the Padres at home, Yates only given up 1 run in 13 innings.
Now the payoff pitch for Ender Inciarte is bounced on top of the Padres dugout foul. Still 3-2.
I don't know if you saw that target that time from Hedges. But 3-2, they've got a nice lead. They don't want to put anybody on. He had a great target. Look at this, right behind the center of home plate. Here, throw it right down the middle, and let's see what happens. You're throwing 95. We'll take our chances.
Slider got him. 2 up, 2 down in the Atlanta 8th. Ender strikes out for the first time. 9 Braves have gone down swinging, a real rarity for this team. Remember, the Braves do not strike out much. Here's Phillips. Brandon 0 for 3. And we told you last night, the Padres now with 105 consecutive wins when they've had a 9th inning lead. Coming into this series, their bullpen a 2.40 ERA over the last 14 games they've played. The problem for them has been getting leads consistently. That hasn't been the issue the last 2 nights. Padres won 7-4 last night.
Yeah, and that's not to say they haven't had some blown saves. They have, but they haven't lost.
Right.
They led going into the 9th inning. Even if they gave up the lead, they came back and won the game. A remarkable stretch.
So the ghost of Trevor Hoffman lives on here in San Diego as Yates an impressive 8th inning. Strikeouts of Inciarte and Phillips send us to the bottom half.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Let's go places. And SunTrust.
With Joe Simpson and Paul Bird, Chip Carey back in San Diego. Pretty night at Petco Park where the Padres unfortunately lead 6-0. Danny Santana remains in the game. He'll play second base. And it looks like it's time for Arodys Vizcaino to get a little work. It's been a while since we've seen him on a big league mound. This is his 35th appearance.
Yeah, it's been 6 days. He got a save against Milwaukee, giving Jim Johnson a night off in that series at home. Worked an inning, gave up a hit, but zeros across. 1.99 ERA. Gotta like that. He's been very good.
Edges, Asuaje, and Cordova, the trio for the Pods coming up.
No walks in his last 7 outings for Vizcaino.
He delivers a quick strike. That's hammered down the left field line, but he was out in front.
You know, the more I look at that thing on his forearm, I wonder if it's a protective guard. You know, kind of like a place where Tyler Flowers got hit last night.
Yeah, we were joking the other night when we saw him wearing it behind the plate. As Kemp's going to have a chance in left center, or will it be Inciarte? It'll be Ender taking over. And there's the first out. We were joking It's one thing if you're a quarterback and you've got to call out all the plays and the formations. It's another if you're a catcher. You really only have 5 choices.
Yeah,
it's
right.
not like you'd think you'd need the help. I think you're right. It's like a protective pad for the forearm.
I hope so.
Right. Arodys gets the first. Here's Aswahe 0 for 3. He's hit the ball in the air twice. And is 0 for 3 tonight. Nelson Lamet handcuffed the Braves offense tonight with a mid-90s fastball and a high 80s, low 90s slider. 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. His first look at Atlanta, he was really impressive.
Well, what he does is create interest. And now all of a sudden people who didn't know much about him on the East Coast will start watching and seeing what he does in subsequent starts because it was outstanding.
Right there to even the count, 2-2. Totally tied him up. Pretty pitch. And Aswahe strikes out for the first time tonight. 2 up, 2 down. And Cordova's coming up.
Right in on his knuckles.
Two ground outs and a fly out for the Padres shortstop. And ball 1. Mike Foltynewicz and Sonny Gray pitch tomorrow night.
It'll be a fun matchup, won't it?
The A's have had to shuffle their rotation around. There's the pitch, which just missed. Daniel Gossett pitched today. Jarrell Cotton was supposed to pitch the first game against Atlanta, but he's had blister problems. So they've pushed him tentatively to Saturday's game against R.A. Dickey. And then Julio Teheran and Sean Manaea wrap things up Sunday. 3 balls and a strike. Here it is. The sound of that ball off the screen sounds like Jim Powell's head when the check comes. Right?
Mm-hmm. A lot of rattling.
Yeah. And ball 4 taken upstairs. 2 out free pass. And all hail Matt Caesar. He's coming up for the second time. He walked and scored back in the 7th. In for a strike. 6 runs, 9 hits for the Padres tonight. Barring a big 9th inning rally, the Braves' run of 4 straight series wins will come to an end. to short. Dansby backhands, fires to second, and the stretch by Santana. Nice play. That ends the Padres' 8th, and we head to the 9th. Final chance for Atlanta. It's 6-0. Padres lead it.
By Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Delta Airlines.
Time for the 9th inning. Time for the Braves to try to spoil this shutout bid. It's 6-0. Padres lead it after 8 innings. And this is Jose Valdez who's going to come on and try to finish things off. Valdez has been hit pretty hard in his first 5 games. Perfect chance for him to tune up in a low leverage situation tonight.
Well, he's getting hit hard maybe because he throws so hard. 95 to 98 with a hard slider.
That kind of sounds like the man that started the game.
Yeah. Valdez called up June 9th from El Paso. By the way, El Paso, great place to hit.
Really?
Oh, yeah, always has been. Back in the days when it was Double-A for the Angels. Outstanding hitter's park, and oh, it's a new ballpark. But with their elevation, it's ball jumps.
Yeah, I had a chance to go there a couple of years ago and do a UTEP basketball game for Fox Sports. What a great town. Wonderful people. As Markakis takes a strike. The Braves were retired in order. 11 straight men to start this game by Lamet till Markakis singled in the 4th inning. Braves have just 4 hits in total so far tonight. And out of play foul. It's 1-2. With that 4th inning single, Markakis now 24 hits away from 2,000. He started play at .346 at the plate on the road this season. That's going to go down as he swings and misses for the first out of the 9th. And as customary here in San Diego, first out in the 9th, they start to ring the mission bell. Last 3 Braves hitters have been struck out.
Yeah, that's 11 on the night for Padres pitchers.
Here's Kemp. They've gotten him twice. Strike outside corner.
A little bit like Vizcaino. Upper 90s. Hard slider. Doesn't break much, but it is hard.
Again, Kemp seen the 4th highest percentage of sliders of any player in the big leagues this year. Let's see if he gets one on a 1-2 count. He did, but it missed. The top 5 recipients of sliders: Dansby Swanson, Alex Bregman of Houston, Michael Franco of the Phillies, Kemp of the Braves, and Miguel Sano of Minnesota. The 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging. And Jace Peterson will be the final hope.
Throw that hard slider down there, you're going to get a lot of swings and misses. Pretty good threesome here tonight with, well, it could be if Mauer had pitched and needed to pitch for the save, but Yates, Valdez, Mauer pretty good in the ball games for them.
Ball 1 to Jace Peterson.
Got Brad Hand down there, who pitched well last night. Booker.
And what's left of this crowd of almost 21,000 fans standing in the lower bowl. Padres are not away from taking 2 out of 3 from the Braves at home. Little chopper. 2 balls and a strike.
Remember, it was a similar pitch to Jace's last time up from Lamet, where he worked him in and then fastball away and had him on his heels a little bit, trying to reach for it.
So the Padres are a strike away from their 5th shutout, and they're 2nd on the homestand. They blanked the Tigers earlier here in San Diego. 2 balls, 2 strikes. At the belt, strike 3 called, and that's your ball game. Valdez strikes out the side. The Padres take 2 out of 3. Pitching and power, the recipe tonight. Lamet was brilliant, and home runs, Joe, by Myers and Renfroe. Too much for Jaime Garcia.
Great pitching by the Padres. That was a story tonight.
So San Diego over 500 now at home. They beat the Braves 6-0. That's your final score. On we go to Oakland and start a series with the A's tomorrow night. That's your final from Petco Park. Stay tuned. The Braves Live postgame show presented by Xfinity is coming right up.